I'm live right now.
You live?
He's preparing on YouTube. So you don't need the charger.
I know. Well, I need the charge. Because I could just leave now.
What up? We're back. We gotta do something about that.
Yeah, they always throw the ad on
Just
before.
cut the volume. We gotta figure that out.
They gotta get.
We're back.
They always get one ad in on us. YouTube, what up?
YouTube, what's going on, y'all?
Let's let the earners in.
What's going on? We got another one. Greetings and salutations to the good people of EYL University and YouTube.
Shout out to everybody out there on this beautiful Monday.
Yeah, another Market Monday that we about to cook up. You smell what the rock is cooking. It's a glorious day in California.
The bro God, as my boy Ash Cash was saying. The bro God.
Guideline.
Senior Dunlap, what's up?
What's going on, my people? I got more FOMO. My God, y'all. Come on, I'm feeling like a jabroni. I heard your rock intro. How you doing, man?
Nah, I'm good, bro.
Everybody
How you?
good.
I'm good. I appreciate y'all. All the earners, what up? Everybody on YouTube, what up? To my family back home, what up? My guy Horace, I see you put on the show back there at the crib, man. I'm proud of you.
What was that for?
They had a tournament out there, like a hoop tournament. It was lit. It looked like Rucker or something at the crib. So,
they
were?
All right,
Yeah.
dope.
They're popping out there.
Dope. Seen, I was checking out the 5-on-5. What was that tournament? The what was that with the overseas elite?
Oh, the ESPN joint?
Yeah.
Yeah, that joint's crazy.
You know what I'm talking about, Ian?
Yeah, they got Joe Johnson in there going stupid.
What's the name of that tournament?
Oh my God.
It's like a summer league thing,
Yeah.
but it's like dudes that's like overseas or they just not in the league.
Yeah, college teams be putting they like former alumni in the joint. Yeah.
It's become like a real big thing.
Now, the one thing you're gonna be able to see is that there's a difference between professionals and amateurs.
It's
That boy Joe, Joe Johnson literally like was a killer in the NBA. Went to
they're professionals though. They're not amateurs.
I'm just saying, not him. There's a difference between him and them.
Oh yeah, of course. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
yeah,
He's a Hall of Famer. Joe Johnson, he's a Hall of Famer.
Joe a murderer, bro.
Nah, he's a killer.
He's a Hall of Famer,
But that's what I'm saying. He just won a championship in Ice Cube's joint, and now he's on the number one team in this.
They lost though.
Yeah. Oh, did they?
Yeah, they lost. Overseas elite. I was watching it
He was
yesterday.
number one seed.
Number 2 seed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, there you have it, kids.
Yeah. But TBT. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
TBT. Shout out to YouTube. To my YouTube. Put that in TBT.
Yo, the blue blazer, man. That's hard.
I appreciate it, man. Trying to earn my keep,
Yo, man, last week you had the 808 vibe, the 808 and heartbreak vibe.
I have to break it out. I have to break something out new,
Today you got the Miami Vice. I like it. I love it.
So yeah, Ian, first and foremost, man, thank you for joining us for another week, everybody. Ian, thank you for rocking with us
Of course.
on our continued journey to excellence, to the championship.
Both of y'all stay fresh, man. Y'all got to put y'all barbers on payroll. They y'all good, man.
This is easy,
I
man.
had to. I'm in Cali. I had to make sure I got a cut. I had to make sure you got a haircut out here.
I got the easy job, man. I just cut it off, line the bed up, man.
Yeah,
In-house, everything in-house.
We got an exciting episode. Oh, Ian, we got a big one tomorrow. We can't release what's happening yet, but we got a big. I'll tell you offline.
Earners.
We got a big one.
Yeah, big, real big. If y'all are day one EYL listeners,
if you listen to Earn Your Leisure,
you know we've said this name a few times, and tomorrow
vibes y'all talking about or no?
Nah.
That's a big episode that's coming out.
That's huge though.
No, that's a big episode. That's a big week. Little Director X.
Yeah,
but we're gonna interview somebody tomorrow.
We're gonna check off a bucket list.
We're gonna interview somebody tomorrow that played a major part in the culture.
Definitely.
Played a major part in the culture.
Text me right now. I'm about to send a text through like
Ernest is going down, man. I remember that when this person followed us, it was like, I was like, we made it. Like, he's following us. Yeah. And it was like, so tomorrow's one of them days.
We can't give away too much information because it's one of those things we just gotta keep it under the.
Yeah, you got to.
But it's a big one. But let's get into it. First and foremost, let's go over our disclosure.
Oh, you want to do disclaimer?
Disclaimer.
All right, here we go. All right, so Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise.
Yes.
Thank you from the good folks at EYL.
Yes. And guidelines. So the guidelines is that
guidelines.
Yes. If you have a question, EYL University, the people that you see ask questions are from EYL University. If you're interested in joining EYL University, we have a spot for you. Go to EYLUniversity.com, enter code earners. But EYL University, if you guys would be as kind enough to ask one question so we can keep the show running smoothly, and try not to ask an individual stock question. Try to ask an investment question. And then also, if you have any questions that's related to like EYL University, just email us at info@earnyourleisure. If you have any questions related to Red Panda, please hit Ian on Telegram or Instagram. And also, Ian, the last time we was here, we rolled out the Elite High Performance Stock Society, and that was a 50% off, and that's 28 high performance stocks, growth stocks, 10 dividend stocks, 3 new stocks that Ian's never talked about, some biotech stocks, 1 video a month for 12 months, access to the Telegram, Vibe, a whole bunch of other stuff. And
it's live now. You guys can log in now. It's been live since 3. So love you.
It's live since 3, and it was posted in 48 hours. It got extended till the beginning of Market Mondays. But I texted them like, "Yo, can we just make it the end of Market Mondays?" So the last second. So after Market Mondays is over, that 50% sale is null and void, and it's the regular price, which is double.
Please don't DM. Please don't hit us up.
So if you're interested, you got about an hour and 15 minutes. I'll put the link in the bio, but you can just go to link Ian's bio and Instagram. You go to our bio, but I just put it for the YouTube. So that is good until the end of the show. 50% off for the High Performance Stock Society. It was, like I said, 38 stock picks, 3 stocks that he's never talked about, 10 dividend stocks, updated high performance twice a year, 4 virtual pop-up sessions, 365-day access to the actual program, private Telegram channel. So it's a whole long list of things that we've laid out.
That's a lot.
So yeah, if you're interested, you have an hour left. So Ian, today is going to be interesting because everybody's always a critic and everybody always has some negative things to say. And they're like, "Yo, can y'all stop talking about stocks all the time, buy and hold? Like, it's boring. Like, we don't want to just talk about buy and hold."
That's the fight. Or the best trade is long term, though. But
yeah. But we want to educate people on everything. So not only do we have a surprise guest that's going to talk about options,
a real boss.
We got back-to-back options conversations. We're going to talk about options for the first time. So everybody's been asking about options. We're going to talk about options this week, but we're also going to talk about futures. Futures is something that even options have been getting a lot of talk, but a lot of people haven't been talking about futures. We actually talked about futures. Shout out to YouTube. If you can like this video, 1,000 people on YouTube. If you can like it, we greatly appreciate it. So Ian, I think can we start off with futures?
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive in, and I can share my screen and we'll be good.
Okay. Can you just give a brief explanation while you're doing that for anybody that might have, if you haven't watched episode 70,
please do,
of Earn Your Leisure podcast, you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice. That was Ian's episode where he went over futures. But for anybody that might have missed that, can you just give them just a quick explanation of what futures actually are?
Futures takes commodities and you essentially are guessing what the future value of them will be. Same thing when you invest in the market long term. You are assuming what the price is going to be in the future. The great thing about it is it pays a lot more. So I'll break down an example. So kudos to my Red Panda family.
Ian, you need the host privilege, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Got you.
Thank you. And then one of my guys who's in the program last week, he wants me to keep him under wraps. But shout out to my guy AT. He knocked out 17 grand in the market in one day last week. So I want to break down a couple things. I want to give you guys a setup. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we got you now. We can see your screen.
And then also, so the market shot up. You guys saw me post on Facebook that the market was going to go to 32.24. It hit there and then the market fell apart, right? So I want to help guide you on how to take advantage of that move. But first, we got to do another disclaimer. Trading has considerable risk. I want you to be well capitalized before you even think about investing into the market. If you are not dedicated, you are not disciplined, you are not willing to practice, you should not trade. consult your financial advisor first, right? So that's that. So for those of you that are trading, and if you don't know how to look at this, I want to keep it really simple. So my up candles are peach. Everybody type in chat on Zoom and YouTube. Peach means up. This is how I break it down to Xander. Peach means up, and then blue for me means down. So anytime I see a down candle that is blue, that means the market is dropping, right? So this is the S&P 500. So when you hear S&P 500, the future pays $12.50 per tick or per penny, right? So we had a great run up today. And then what happened after 1 o'clock? The market fell apart. Now, I got a lot of people hitting me on IG saying, man, I really don't know what to do. All my gains went away. But if you know how to trade, you know how to take advantage of this move. But first, I want to give you guys the setup for this. So for those of you in Elite, you already have this setup in there, right? But if you go to TD Ameritrade, you can put in an EMA, just type in legacy, EMA, it will come up, click add selected, and then change the closing from the length from 9 to 10, and you have a 10-period moving average. This is the entire strategy. And I only want you to trade open and close. Type in chat, I will only trade open and close, because a lot of you get killed in these zombie hours. So for those of you that trade options, you know you don't want to initiate your trades at 11 to 12. Same thing is true here. So I recommend in Red Panda that you trade a baseline of 25 contracts. So that's the same thing as shares, right? So whenever these blue candles cross through this blue line, we want to short. The great thing about futures is that you don't have to borrow anything to short. You can short as quickly as you can go long. And here are the parameters. I want you to have a 12 tick stop loss. So I want you to risk 12 to make 57. That's a good risk to reward. It's 4.75. And I'll break down what this math is for you. So if you have 25 contracts and you get 57 ticks and you multiply that times 12.50 per tick or per penny, let me move this up for you. You can see you're looking at 17,812.50 in one trade. And if you look, the move broke down from here and we fell all day. So that's why I say if the market falls, like there's no such thing as a bad market. There's only bad entries into it. So when the market is fall, we actually have some of our best days. Red meaning down, panda meaning bear. I'm happy when the market falls because I know over time the long-term market is going to go up. But in addition to that, we also can ride these moves down. So when most people are saying, hey, the Dow fell 1,000, I'm like, it doesn't matter. You can get anywhere from 10 ticks to 100 ticks on the downside. Shout out to Amber, one of our Red Panda queens, right? So just remember this. For most of you, you're going to have red candles. Don't buy on red candles. When the market is falling, you want to short. For my options traders, that would be the equivalent to a put. When it's peach, you want to go up and go long. That's the same thing as call. That's why I tell you, the languaging is what trips us up. Why don't they just say buy for everything? You have long, call, buy, bullish trend, and then for you have your puts, you have down, bearish. So the terms is what trips people up, but it's all the same thing. And then as you can see, as it crossed through this moving average here, the market fell down all for the rest of the day and went from 31.40. And that's how my guy AT was able to knock out 17 grand in the trade. Once again, this is not to be salacious. This was an actual trade placed through Ninja Trader. No theory, no fake shit, right? So, but I want you to be well capitalized and practice before you take any kind of trades in the futures market. And this strategy works for every commodity: crude, ES, bond market, palladium, silver, gold, everything imaginable. And if you guys are in Elite in the last video, you'll have that in your video series.
So Ian, you said that each tick is worth $12.50 in the NASDAQ. Is that true for every index or just
no?
NASDAQ?
That's for the S&P 500. So for NASDAQ, that's $5 per tick. If you go to gold, it's $10 a tick. EMD is $10 a tick. So all of them have different values. So I like the S&P 500 because it's one of the highest paying out of the few. And we talked about it on episode 70. I know in the beginning, in March, everyone was killing me, especially all the Forex traders. Shout out to y'all, right? But The ES pays the most out of the indexes, and then it's easy to navigate those two. So I want you to start. And for those of you who are asking how much capital did he have on that trade, he had $12,500 into that trade to make 17 grand.
That's a good
nice
flip.
Day.
That's a
It's
good
not
flip.
bad.
That's a really good day.
That's a good flip.
So somebody was asking what the green line represented. I seen that in on YouTube, and I saw it in the chat for EYL.
The green line is a moving average. So it's plotting out where the moving average is. For those of you who don't know what a moving average is, I want you to Google it. That's your homework for the day. But whenever we see the market slide underneath that moving average, it means the prices are not going up. This is the big mistake most traders make. Most traders buy on red candles, and then they're trying to short on green ones. That's why when people are trying to short Tesla, I'm like, why are you shorting? And it's been running up 7 days. And they're like, well, I know it's going to turn over. And it's like, yeah, but you blew up your account 3 times trying to do it. Go with the predominant direction and you're good. So the indicator doesn't matter. Let me put you traders on some game. So this is no theory, right? Because I spent 12 hours a day, 6 years looking at this to get to this one revelation. The indicator does not matter. The direction of the market is the only thing that matters. Indicators are second. So if you follow companies that are continue to go up, you're going to see. I only have one moving average for those of you that are asking. If you're doing a golden cross, so like if a 20 goes to a 50, that's fine. It's the same thing, but I would rather have less indicators on my screen than more, because simplicity is a lot better. And once you follow that direction, you're A-okay. You guys are A-okay. It's like you guys don't want to have a bunch of puts on XOK. It's like you're going against the true trend of the market. So once you go with that direction, you'll be able to knock that out and be golden.
Nah, that was, yeah. And we're going to talk about futures a little more in different episodes, but we're not one trick ponies here at Market Mondays. And that's one of the great things about the platform. We're not biased. We're trying to give information as much as possible. So we talked about, index funds. We talked about mutual funds. We talked about life insurance. We talked about stock investing. So now we just, he just gave a brief explanation of day trading futures, which is a whole different vibe altogether.
Yeah. And for everyone, and I'll give, if you guys have been dope to me. So if you guys want, after the episode, if you go to the site, I'll post the video for you guys to have the actual setup so you can start practicing for free. Because I know some of you think that you need like 50 grand to start trading futures. You don't. So if you got a setup, you can practice for absolutely free. And I say, don't go live until you have mastered trading like you're getting 80% win ratio, then you can go live.
Yeah. And episode 70 is the episode. Yes, that is the episode. So Ian, you had spoke about something as far as the market fell apart. If anybody was watching the market today, it was up crazy. It was up like 400 points. And then out of nowhere, it just fell apart completely.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
like late afternoon, it just fell apart.
I'm telling you, when we looked at it, it was 400. We did an interview. We came back. They were like, "Yo, it's only up 10." I'm like, "What happened? We missed a lot there." Like, so
yeah, it was crazy. Apple almost hit 400. Tesla was how much was Tesla?
1,700.
17 up to 1,700. Yep. It was just a crazy day, and then a lot of it got erased by the end of the day.
I mean, I know the Fed spoke midday, but I didn't see what drug it down. I know the Corona news. So when Tesla turned over, a lot of the market started to turn over. And then, of course, when they start announcing I know y'all are in Cali, so y'all got to get back home soon. But they're going to start shutting stuff down in California. That Corona virus stuff is going to impact it a lot. And also, remember, I've told you guys, the market has the highest probability of going up on Mondays and Fridays, right? So if I figured that out as a retail trader, what do you think the hedge funds are thinking? Okay, great. Friday was great. Monday was great. Let's take off profit midday and let's let the market slide back overnight and through Tuesday. Because now you are in truly a trader's market. Because now whenever people are seeing gains, they're wanting to take the profit off to prevent from having those 10%, 15% slide down throughout the week. So you got to keep that in context as well.
Shout out to Andre Hatchett on the super chat.
Oh,
very first professor for EYL University ever.
Crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Andre Hatchett. So yeah, I mean it's interesting to watch the stock market right now. It's like a roller coaster. You never really know what to expect. And we're gonna talk about a couple different stocks, couple different funds. But Yeah, it's just, I think we just needed to kind of explain that to people, because for somebody that's just coming in to the market, they're looking at it and they might get nervous. But like you always say, you got to keep your composure, because it was up and then it came down. We'll wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, composure is extremely key. Like you said, when we looked at it probably around 11 o'clock, I was like, oh, wait, oh, well, pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, should we sell right now? And it was like, all right, well, let's just wait it out. And as we watched it go down, it was like, this is where the discipline comes in. This is where the discipline comes in. This is where the composure comes in. And when you stay long-term, you got to mean it.
Yeah, and then also, for those of you who've been waiting for a dip back, so 2 pieces of advice. So we were at the top of resistance today. That's why I always tell you guys, don't buy at a high. I don't care how excited you get. If a car is worth 25 grand, don't buy it for 38,000 just because you want it, right? Don't do that. Secondarily, for those of you who want a chance to get into the market, I tell you the market crashes every single month. This is a prime example. So for those of you who are waiting for some stocks to turn around and get in some areas that you want it, you're good. You have to master long-term investing with short-term investing, what I called on episode 70. You have to get it together. And that way, that's how you're able to keep your composure as well. Because if you can trade, I've learned that you will stay in your long-term positions more. But if you can't, because you feel like you don't have any control, people end up taking money out of the market too fast. And then we got to, from an accountability standpoint, we got to just be like, nope, Troy, you got to stay in, man. You got to stay in. So
yeah, let's go to some questions.
Yeah.
EYL University.
What's going on? Patrick,
what's the vibe?
First up, unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? This is my first time on here. What's going on with y'all?
Everything
appreciate
good, man.
Welcome.
So my question for you is, I saw Apple obviously went up almost 100, and then I saw Shopify went down to 968. So I was wondering, what's good price to get into both?
Because are you a stock club member?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Not Red Panda.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because those are 2 picks in I can't give you the exact price, but I will say that if you start to look, stock club members, don't kill me. I'm not gonna tell them our exact price, but I'll tell you around the area. I wouldn't be mad if you started to pick some up tomorrow, and then if it gets to 889 Shopify, I would take a look at it. What was the other one you were looking at, talking about? Apple?
Said it, yeah, Apple.
That's Bay, so I can't give you that's the other Bay. So I can't give you her. Cool, they're gonna kill me. But like if it gets to like 360 or something, though, you'll be good.
I appreciate you, boss.
Stock club members, don't kill me. I be trying to help the people, baby. Come on, they're gonna light my ass up today, boy.
Shout out to Mark.
Oh, he made it.
He's watching from afar.
He made it. Shout out. Appreciate you, Patrick. David Smith, you've been unmuted. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
All right, y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
Perfectly.
Yeah, how you doing?
Everything
cool.
good.
I want to tell y'all I appreciate y'all. And also, I was sitting there sweating looking at Amazon hit 3,300.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. And it dropped back down. But my question was, I've been using the sniper method. And I was playing with it, and I keep getting my lock-in profit.
Yep.
But when it goes for the full field, it keeps canceling my order. And I don't know why.
What time are you trading?
I believe at this time it was like 7:30, almost 8.
Central?
Yeah, Central.
In the morning?
Yeah, it was in the morning.
I will wait until there's more volume at 8:30 Central, between 8:30 to like, if you got to squeeze it to 9:45. You may not think that it makes a huge difference, but it does. So once the market opens up, you may get some good trades pre-market, but you have a lot more people in. So let's say how we got that bullish run at the open, you're going to have a lot more people pushing the market up, so it won't slide back and forth. So think of it as like tip off. Like you may hit 5 threes before tip off, but they don't really count as much. Tip off, now it's really game time. Everyone's in, so now the volume is going to be a lot more balanced. You won't get locked out as much as a result. I promise you. Try it 8:30 a.m. and then trade the close from 2:30 to 3. You'll see a huge difference in your performance.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, David.
Appreciate you, brother.
Chris Madden, unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
Yo, fellas.
What's good?
What's good?
Y'all hear me? Man, I love the show, man. I'm a huge supporter. I try to repost y'all stuff every week too, man. It's exciting to be on
that,
here.
man.
Appreciate it.
I won't be brief. I'm gonna try to be brief since everybody got questions. But Ian, so I need the algorithm, bro. I need to know, how do you come up
straight up
how do you come up with a number to buy in? Like, we know when it's going, we see the numbers go high, we see them drop. I mean, but how do we know, like, what's a good buy-in number?
You talked on. I'll let you. But yeah, we actually spoke about that with the 200-day moving average is one way.
Yep.
The 52, the Fibonacci chart.
Fibonacci. Yep. And then you're gonna also join Apex if you want the real magic call. You gotta come join the mod, baby. I got you. But the 200-day moving average works. If you need a tighter entry, you can go to a 20-period moving average. I like EMA over SMA. So you can use that, and that'll give you some entries. And then most importantly is, like, because you can have a good spot, but a lot of people have a good spot, but have the direction wrong. So if the candles are bleeding red and everyone's buying, it's like, man, but it went through the area. I'm like, you were going the wrong side on the highway, and then your car got wrecked, and you're like, hey, what happened? Like, you drive on the right side all the time, and then you'll be good. You'll be good.
Got you. Yep. Got you. Do y'all got a link on that, on the Alpha and Apex?
You can go to joinredpanda.com and
10-4.
Yeah,
10-4. Now I believe in y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you, Chris. 10-4. You there?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Ian, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought we lost connection.
Somebody, shout out to Hagen Heads. He said, when y'all gonna invite the up and coming entrepreneurs while on their journey up? It seems everyone already a millionaire, but they have to start somewhere. Funny you say that.
Very funny.
You say that.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well timed.
Stay tuned.
That's a perfect question to ask.
Yeah, you know what? We'll probably be able to answer that in the next 15 minutes.
In the next 3 minutes.
You're right. 3 minutes away.
Hopefully.
Sit tight. Jay, we're gonna take one question before we go to that. Jay, unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
Jay Marsh?
Yeah, that's you, right?
You good.
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man? Love the show. Want to be brief, though. So I am been inspired by you guys. So thank you for everything you're doing. We mentor about some middle and high school kids here, and I'm putting together a presentation to help spur their knowledge and interest in stocks, to get them investing early. Two things that I am requiring that the parents do as they join our mentor club is to open up custodial accounts, one for Acorns as a simple way of investing easily, as well as we're going to buy their first 3 shares into an index fund. So requiring the parents to open up a custodial index fund, and we'll purchase the first 3 shares so that we know that the fund is open and there's already shares purchased, and hopefully that spurs dialogue between the parent and the child. My question is outside of those 2 steps, for someone that's in middle school and high school, what other steps should I include to help or make it more impactful? Is, I guess, my question.
Troy,
yeah. I was gonna say, like, Jay, you can shoot me an email, Troy at Earn Your Leisure. I have some things I've created for our program, because one of the things we did teach them about was stocks. So we have a bunch of worksheets and some programs that they can use to practice. But the first thing is getting them a foundation of understanding of what a stock is. And like I said, we always use the pizza analogy because it's a really good analogy, right? A stock is a piece, a company is a pie, and a stock is a piece of the pie. So we start there, but we have a bunch of stuff that I can send to you. So just shoot me an email and I'll get you the information.
Gotcha.
And also, I'll be mindful. Are you dealing with any inner city kids?
Yeah. So this is a pilot program that I'm starting here in Tallahassee with the kids that we mentor in our group, and then looking to set a model for. It's a national club that, we mentor across the country. But my particular chapter here in Tallahassee, I want to pilot it here and really set the guidelines and do's and don'ts so that we can roll it out and help other chapters do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to help. One of the things I would highly advise too, because this has worked when I talk to high schools and talk to kids, you have to show them the money. And it's like as kids, you can get $200 in singles and then they'll act like it's $55,000. Right? They have no clue. So if you connect the emotional connection of money, because a lot of times we'll just say Apple, Microsoft, that's me, VOO. And then it's like, I don't know what any of that means. But if you start to make a financial connection to them and say, if you bought this instead of this game and count the money out front, they'll go to their parents and be like, I don't want any more games. I would beg you to show them some of the money first. And then I think that'll click a lot more, especially if the kids are not doing well or they're starving or they're in a not so well-to-do area. That's going to have the biggest impact and keep stressing that they do it long-term, because we have to get to our kids before the streets get to the kids. But the biggest thing is everyone that's an adult tells the kids to stay out of the streets and don't give them anything to offset that. And just doing that small thing for me, like, has helped steer a lot of kids the right way.
Yeah, that's actually what what's our guy Jamal Bryant in Atlanta. So Jamal Bryant, he's like a mega pastor in Atlanta. He has actually the biggest church in Georgia, which I guess is a really big thing. So we met him, and he was saying he used to be in Baltimore. So he was saying that he had a program in Baltimore where he was like, he worked with the judges, because he was like saying like, yeah, you telling street dudes to stop being in the streets, but you're not giving them any alternatives.
Yep.
They have felonies, so they can't get jobs, well, good paying jobs. So it's like, I'm making $1,000, $2,000 in the street, and the only alternative you're giving me is a minimum wage job.
Right.
It's not really appealing.
Not gonna cut
So
it.
what he actually taught them to do was trade Forex.
Yeah.
And he actually got the judges to acknowledge day trading as a career. Because, you got to have a parole officer, you got to actually have a job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's something that we need to actually take serious, even with criminal justice reform, because it's like being an entrepreneur a lot of times is not acknowledged for the parole. And it's like, people, if you teach them a way to actually make money, not only will it be appealing and something that they can actually grasp and understand and they can relate to it from an economic standpoint, it's something that's, makes sense, as opposed to something that, financially, nobody's going to do something if they're not going to make any money off of it.
Yeah. And I think the power of presence, the power of presence is key. So I want to shout out to you, Jay. The power of presence is so key, right? Like when they think of finance and they think of wealth and they think of, the financial services, they think of guys in shirts and ties. And it's important to see us and see Ian giving that message, but still being the same dudes that listen to the music they listen to, talk the language that they talk, like the cars that they like. Because they're going to receive it a lot better. And that's been like a lot of our success has started there in the classroom with the kids, because that relatability, that power of presence, they see us, they trust us. So shout out to you for doing that.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys, man, because I steal a lot of y'all acronym, your synonyms on the game to relate it to them. And so not yesterday, Saturday, we had one on the gaming industry, which is a $157 billion industry. Yeah. And so in that conversation, I talked about AMD. Hey, if you're into gaming, make sure that you're looking at the stocks and trying to show them the other side of, don't just play the game and spend your money on it, but also invest in it so that you're also reaping some of the rewards. So shout out to you guys for that, because I'm definitely stealing all the game that you guys are giving, and just making sure that we're growing our knowledge bank as a community and starting as young as possible. So thank you guys, man. I really appreciate it.
And what I'm going to
do to help, I'm all in.
The last thing to say on that, for everybody that's in EYL University, I know there's a few educators in there. What I'm going to do, shout out to Naomi. I know there's a few educators on EYL University. I'll put it in the Facebook group. I'll put it in our Facebook group. There's a website that I use because I teach financial literacy to kids. So there's a great website. I forget the name off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the private Facebook group if any educator is interested in it, and it has everything in there. So, all right, let's get our guest on.
Hey,
Ian, just have him raise his hand so we make sure it's him.
My guy, raise your hand. I want it to be a little bit of a build up. It's special to me.
Because I see the name, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we have somebody with the name, but he hasn't raised his hand, so we're not sure if he's that person or just the same name as him.
Jones, come on, man.
Raise your hand,
sir.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Yeah, and they can make you a speaker panelist.
Might not.
Oh, there you go. It was somebody else. I see him.
Good thing we didn't.
That would have been crazy.
Good thing we didn't click on him.
Yo, that would have been crazy.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
Come on.
Welcome.
Guy.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So ladies and gentlemen,
they preferenced this, right? They said, yo,
they spoke it into existence.
Let's get somebody on their way up.
10 minutes ago, we had a request to say, can we get somebody on the way up that's not a millionaire, that's not, you know what I'm saying?
I'm already there. Come on. Brand, I'm already there.
Damn.
My guy.
All right, we'll try again next week.
Sorry. We apologize. So my guy, Christian Jones, aka The Truth 2024 on Instagram. So 15, are you 15 years old?
13.
So he's 13.
Welcome to teenage years.
He's 13 years old. He's a day trader. He's an investor. He's a speaker. He's an author. He does options. Just a dynamic dude. So Ian reached out to us a few days ago and was like, I think he'd be a great guest for Market Mondays. And we like, sure, why not? So we want to highlight. First of all, we want to highlight you for a couple of different reasons. It's important to support and encourage our entrepreneurs and our investors. Like, shout out to Mikey, who's the number one 15-year-old basketball player in the country. But to me, you're just as important as somebody like that, or LeBron James when he was
not more, right?
Yeah,
for sure. You can impact thousands of kids. Mikey can help his family, but you can help the world and generations.
Yeah, so for sure. So we want to highlight you and celebrate you. There's no difference between you and LeBron James when he was 13, number one player in the country. I look at you like the number one prospect.
Yeah. This is your Sports Illustrated right here, EYL.
So first and foremost, we want to just celebrate you, but then also we want to get some game from you. I want to get some game from you too, because I know that you're a very astute trader and investor. So first and foremost, thank you for joining our platform. We appreciate it.
I appreciate being here.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll ask the first question, then everybody can just feel free to jump
got a
in.
few of
Ian,
them, yeah.
Troy. So you all right, you day trade options only or stocks or?
Yeah, I do mostly options. I do invest in stocks more so like for long term like most people. I do mostly options.
All right, I'm glad because people have been asking for options, and we're going to do an options show next week. We're working on something special. But this will be a good intro for that. So can you, I was going to explain it, but I'd rather you, can you just explain for that, most people aren't too familiar with options. Can you just explain like what options are as they pertain to like just investing in regular stocks?
Sure. So as far as the main, key differences between stocks and options are this. So as far as stocks, we know you actually own a share in the company. You actually own stock in the company, and like I said, you own share in it. And the thing is with stocks, you can hold them forever, and you can pretty much pass them down. And the main difference between those and options is, options, you can't hold it, and you don't actually own the stock. You merely own the option in order to buy the stock. And when we're owning options, we have these things called contracts. Now, one contract is equal to 100 shares of stock. And also with this options as well, it's temporary. Unlike stocks, options are temporary. Now I know the max amount you can hold an option is I think about 2 years, because there are different types of trading. So you can hold options for a long time. You can do long-term trading with options. I've actually done that personally myself just recently today, where I did a long-term contract with Tesla, and I got it back.
I saw you post that, man.
Yeah, me and my mom, we saw Tesla, and we got in about 300, and then we made $78,000 off that trade, because Tesla, it went crazy today, but like I don't know why it fell off, but luckily we was able to get out before it dipped down.
So don't let that go over your head.
Please, that was really modest, man. That's a yearly salary right there.
All right, so yeah, let's talk.
Hold on, real quick, one more time. How old are you?
13.
So I first met my guy when we was speaking with ET. Shout out to Marquell, because Marquell was solid enough to put me on the platform before anyone knew me, just like y'all before, so y'all helped me pop. So I met him there, and I was like, yo, this kid knows his stuff, and I didn't know any of this when I was a kid, right? So run that number again past what you hit. I just want the people to hear.
$78,000.
So the reason why I wanted him on is to show, regardless of age, this is possible. We're the only culture that this has been hidden from. He's young, right? Mm-hmm. So if he can do it, you can do it too. But no, I'm gonna let you rock. I just wanted to jump in and let that, because it brings me so much joy, because you've been doing this since you was 8 and 9. You were speaking at 8 and 9?
Yeah, so a brief timeline is basically I actually ended up writing my first book called The Win Within at 8 years old.
Yep.
It's based off my story where I was getting bullied by my teammates on the football field. It's about faith, family, and football. And then this is at the time we was living in Florida. So from there, we actually ended up leaving the country and going to Germany. And while we were in Germany, that's where I ended up, developing, but finding about what investing is and finding out about the stock market. Because I don't know if you guys remember, there was a story about, I think 2013, about a 14-year-old who had made $50,000 of buying Nike stock. So like anybody, I wanted to see how he did it. And I began asking my mom if she could teach me how to invest in the stock market, because I'm trying to make that kind of money. At the time, I was around 9 years old, so she didn't really take me seriously, because she thought I was just playing around, just saying that because, people change their minds all the time.
Yeah. So
I ended up doing my own research and came back to her and told her I wanted to open up my brokerage account. And again, your brokerage account is the account you use in order to invest and trade. And when she heard that, then she saw that I was actually passionate and really wanted to learn this skill. And at the time, she did know a little bit about investing, but she really didn't get too deep into it herself. So she actually went out and got her course. And that course was $25,000, because she knows not only the value of investing in the stock market, but investing into yourself and investing in your growth. So she went out and got the course. And then initially we were taking it together, but 8, 9 years old, no idea what that meant. So she ended up learning from the course, and then she came back and taught me. So I guess the whole timeline would be I've been investing for 4 years and I've been trading for 3.
I love this, man.
So
that's beyond incredible.
And kudos to your mom too, because your mom is with you running the business. So this, and I'm Rashad, I'm gonna let you rock. But parents are also you see the joy in his face from learning this, and the joys in our face. All of our kids should know this. So do it together. And if your kids have an interest, even in gaming, let them do that, because there are more avenues now than ever to make money from a whole bunch of industries that were not available to us. But Rashad, go ahead.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about this Tesla call that you had. So I'll just try to give my I was gonna say 13-year-old explanation, but nah. I gotta give my 4-year-old explanation for what options are. And correct me if I'm wrong. I just want everybody just to have an understanding. So when you buy stock, let's say you want to buy Apple stock right now, it's at 382. So we know if you have $382, you can buy 1 share, right? And then if you buy 2 shares, then it's 2 times 382. Everybody, I think, that pretty much understands that. You own Apple, you can have it for as long as you want. Whenever you sell it, if you sell it at $700, then you doubled your money pretty much, right? Yep. So that's easy to understand. So with the options, it's pretty much you're buying something in the future. So it's okay, I'm buying Apple. Yeah, exactly. I'm buying Apple for $500 in January of 2022, right? And then you have an ask and the bid price. So the strike price is $500. That's the price you want to get it at. Future,
the exit. Yeah.
So and then the ask. So the ask is what you're actually buying those contracts for.
Right.
So the ask could be, let's say, $50 hypothetically, right? So the ask is a lot lower than the actual price of the actual.
Well, so it gets tricky, right? So there's calls and puts. We gotta.
Well, I'm gonna say calls.
Yeah.
So the ask is like $50, right? So you're buying 100 because you got to buy 100 contracts.
Yeah.
100 shares for one contract.
Let's use $5. That'll make it easier.
All right. So now you buy it at 50. So now, if let's say the price of Apple stock goes from 382 to 400, right? That's an $18 increase. Now, if you have the regular stock, then that would have been whatever percentage of $18 going up. But now, if you own the options contract and it's $50, theoretically, that $50 could go to $100. So now you actually doubled your money. This is why options are so appealing to people. And once you fully understand it, it's like stocks on steroids. Yeah. Because
it's tough to go back to stocks.
No, it's really difficult because it's like you could, but it's a lot more volatile. So it can go up a lot faster, but it can also go down a lot faster as well, because you don't really care about the price of the stock. You're more concerned about the bid and the ask price. Did I do a good job explaining that, Christian?
You did a decent job.
Okay. You explain it. I cut that. That's funny.
All right. So can you fill in? Can you fill in what I left out?
Are you smarter than a seventh grader?
So as far as the strike price, you were at kind of right at that. So the strike price that's the price you're actually buying it at. So let's say I'm gonna use your example. So let's say I'm buying Apple. They were at 382. So the thing is about options, you have an option chain. And when you're looking at the option chain, you have in the money and out the money. So let's say I'm going to go out the money. Normally when I go out the money, that's me. So I'm going to do a swing trade. A swing trade is a more long-term trade and investment. Like I said, you can go out to a maximum of about 2 years. So let's say I'm doing a swing trade and Apple's current stock price is at 382. So I'm going to put my strike price at, let's say, 400. So, and I'm doing a call. So I know Microsoft, Apple is going to hit at least $400. Because I will say this about strike prices as well. They don't necessarily have to hit your price in order for you to make money. They just have to go in a general direction for you to be able to make money. That's how you make money off swing trades. And that is one of the ways I actually made money, not only off that Tesla, but also, it did hit my strike price. But I did one on Microsoft. That's a better example. So I remember Microsoft was about at 135 at the time. That was their stock price. And I put my strike price, this was a swing trade, and I put it at 195, and I put it about 3 to 6 months out. So I put it 3 to 6 months out, and I put my strike price at 195. And even though Microsoft never actually hit that strike price of 195 till later after I sold the contract, it was still going in that direction. So therefore, I was making money.
The trend is your friend. So as long as it was going toward that 195, you're going to make some money.
Thank you for the further explanation. So, all right, can you talk about the Tesla trade that you made today? Can you kind of just walk us through that? And what's your Instagram? Because a lot of people on YouTube, can you just type his Instagram in? I think it's The Truth 2024, right?
Yeah, The Truth 2024.
And Mark said he likes you. We'll let you know who Mark is, but yeah, Mark is a fan of you. So yeah, can you walk us through your Tesla trade that you made today?
Sure. So that Tesla trade was actually also another swing trade that I did back in March when Tesla was at that $300 mark. Oh my God! And I remember, I was telling my clients about it, and I didn't necessarily tell them, but I was telling them what I was gonna do, and they might as well copy. So I got in at about $300. And I remember after that, I decided to I was gonna just sell it after Tesla started to move up in that upward direction, but we decided not to. So kind of just left it alone. And little did we know, a couple months later, it hit almost $100,000 because Tesla, as you know, has one of those. Well, Tesla's like a wild card to me. It's one of those companies. Market be up one day, Tesla's going down $100. Market be down another day, Tesla's moving up $200, fall back, move up another $100. Like Tesla is a wild card. And knowing this, but that Tesla is a wild card, but it is a very consistent company. So knowing this, we decided to do a swing trade on this. And like I said, a couple months later, here we are with $78,000. So that's kind of the whole process on how that worked.
How much money did you put in originally?
2,000.
2,000.
We got a question. I'm saying important. How do you choose your strike price and your ask that you're looking to get in? I saw that comment in YouTube.
Ask, how do I choose my strike price and my ask, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so as far as how I choose my strike price, that really depends. I'm trading for that day because you have 4 different trading styles. You have, and I use, well, pretty much all 4. So you have the first trading style, which is called scalping. So scalping is more so, well, like a surgeon, pinpoint movements and short little movements, and those are like in and out. You got to be really quick, and you do have to have patience as well with scalping. So scalping is more, like I said, pinpoint movements. So it depends if I'm doing scalping, I might go in the money. However, you also have day trading, which is similar but not the same as scalping. Day trading, you can instead of those pinpoint movements where you're making like $400 in 2 minutes. Day trading, you might make $5,000 in about not even 10, 20, but like maybe an hour or 2. So day trading, while you might take a little longer, you don't necessarily hold any positions at the end of the day. And then you have position and swing trading. So swing trading is what I did with the Tesla and the Microsoft. And one of my favorite strategies to use because it's basically passive income. And it is something I do teach in my course because like I said, it's passive income. I remember my mom, she said swing trading is actually her favorite strategy as well, because it allows you to not only free up your time, but also to make passive income and make money on a consistent basis without having to really put in much work, which is the beauty of the stock market. And then you have position trading, which goes back to the maximum amount of 2 years, where you can pretty much do it like a stock and just hold it for a long amount of time and just allow it to continuously making money. But you have to be careful on what companies you choose, because you will have those companies that might dip during a certain point because of whatever reason. So you do have to pay attention to the news, and you do have to watch your positions as well. Like I said, you gotta pay attention. Like this is not something you can just, I made one trade and just leave it for forever.
Can you walk us through your risk to reward ratio? So are you risking 10% to make 100%, or what ratio are you using when you're setting up your swing trades?
So when I'm setting up my swing trades, I typically I don't like to lose more than about 25%. However, I will be willing to risk 25% if I can make at least 50%.
Okay. 2 to 1. Okay.
Christian, I got a quick question. So are you making puts as well, or what's your strategy on that?
Yeah, I use puts as well. I don't use them as much, but I do use them. And I would say an example of puts would be, what was it, the company? Six Flags. Y'all know what that's it. Yeah, the amusement park. So they're actually publicly traded. So I remember one thing I did with Six Flags. I remember the first year I want to say discovered them. I saw them. This was also during the summer. And Six Flags at the time, this was about 2 years ago, Six Flags was going up because I believe they came out with a new Batman ride or something, and everybody was going to Six Flags. So they jumped about $20. So I made money off of calls. And then, of course, since Six Flags is a seasonal company, they began slowly dropping as the months went on, August, September, October. So knowing this from the first year, because I didn't figure out that pattern before, but knowing this next year in 2019, I did see this pattern and saw that Six Flags was going to have that great summer again, and then they were going to slowly drip down. So I decided to do a swing trade put on it and make some money that way.
YouTube, if you could take a minute and like this video, it's 2,300 people. I think that's a record for us.
Yeah, I think so.
But if you don't
appreciate that.
If you don't like this video, it says a lot about your character.
Repost this one.
Yeah, you gotta, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta like it. That's the least you can do is like it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. All right. So puts for anybody. That's when you're saying that the stock is gonna go down. Where calls are saying that the stock is gonna go up. So is your put strategy more short term, like long term? Like, do you have a long term call strategy and a short term put strategy, or how do you play your puts versus your calls? And do you ever put a call and a put on the same position? Because some people do that to hedge. Like they'll put a call on Apple, but then they'll take 25% and put a put on it also. So if they'll make money either way, the market decides to go.
Okay. So as far as how I do my calls and puts, I more so do my I do kind of both ways. Like as far as long term, I might do calls occasionally, but for the most part, I use puts for the long term. Well, not even long term, but more so midterm on those companies that I know suck and are trash, and I'm getting at a good entry point. And then I use calls more so consistently and more so, for short term, especially with scalping and day trading.
Christian, really quick. So are you making options on individual stocks, or do you do ETFs as well?
No, I do individual stocks.
Okay.
Well, what are your top 5 favorite?
Okay. Oh, they gotta get the class. They gotta get the class. Okay. Yo, Ian, they gotta get the class, bro. Don't do that.
Listen. Don't do the top 5. Just give me 5 that you like. Don't give me the top 5.
Okay, so 5 companies that I like, say at least 2 of them are in my top 5.
Okay.
Microsoft.
Okay.
Apple.
Come on, man.
Visa.
Tesla, okay.
Shopify. Roku,
come on. Talk that talk, King. And this was not planned either for y'all who thinking that
it's the first time we meeting them.
Come on.
Shout out to Mark on the $500 super chat, and shout out to Bruce Wayne on the $200 super chat.
Bruce Wayne was popping.
Yo, I love it. Yo, I love it.
Shout out to it. Yo, Market Mondays is the most lit situation on the internet right now.
Shout out to Val. She's on the check-in. Val, what up? I see you watching.
Val's on the check-in?
She's on the check-in.
Shout out to Val. Shout out to EYL alumni. EYL alumni.
Because they tend to be bullish more often than not, and you're swing trading them on a call side because they have more predictability. Is that why you're picking those?
Hold on, can you say that again?
Are you picking Microsoft, Apple, Shopify, those because they have a bullish uptrend on the long term? That's why you lean towards the calls more so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very consistent companies.
Let's take some questions. I want questions for, if you have questions for Christian. Let's get some live questions for Christian. Because you invest in stocks too, right?
Yeah, I do invest in stocks.
All right. Yeah, let's get some questions for Christian.
And you're also teaching courses, right?
Yes, sir.
This guy is a legend.
He does it all.
He's a legend. Sam, you've been unmuted. Unmute yourself, please. And
guess not.
Oh,
let's go to Shaq.
Sam.
Went to the fridge.
Shaq's always good for
Shaq, what's going on? Unmute yourself. BK, stand up. What's up?
Brooklyn.
Yo, what's going on, gentlemen? I gotta say good afternoon. You already know what it is. Yo, first thing first, I want to address the statement that Rashad made earlier when they said you was a one-trick pony. First thing first, one-trick pony, I feel like I have Iverson when they told him about practice. You talking about practice? Bro, I done learned so much. I could teach a class right now.
Shaq, day one.
Yo, all right. That's on number one. And Ian, I just gotta say thank you, man. You already know what it's for. You already know what it is.
I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you in Red Panda, EYL. Yeah. You already know what it is.
Thank you for putting in the work,
man. Yo, I want to say I'm so proud of you, man. Like, you don't understand. You are the dream I have for my kids, for my nephew, my nieces, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I legitimately learned from you. Like, options has been kicking my, I want to curse. Options has been kicking my butt. I'm not gonna lie. The first option trade I made, I lost $500, and I was like, "Well, this is crazy. I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna have to get back, and I'm gonna have to get your course." Real talk. I just want to ask you, how do you pick your when you're looking at different strike prices, right? I know the out the money calls and puts. I'm gonna just stick with calls. I know the out the money calls are cheaper. So is it better to, you find a good company that you think is gonna go up? Is it better to buy an out the money call and wait for it to swing? Like you get 3-6 months and wait for it to swing into in the money and then sell to get the premium? Or should you be safe and buy the in the money call?
I would say that would have to go back to how you're trading, because if you're doing swing trading, then the first one would work where you would wait for it to eventually go in the money. Like I said, with the Tesla one, where it wasn't in the money at the time, but it eventually became in the money at 110. However, I would say there isn't necessarily a better price point or strike price to buy it at. It more so depends on your strategy and how you're trading. But I do actually teach a strategy in my course that does, well, it's a swing trading strategy that does show you how to basically choose that strike price and also the maximum amount you will pay for a certain, a certain trade. So I do actually teach a strategy on that as well.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely have to hit you up and get on that, man, because shoot, I thought options was for the big boy. You out here, you teaching me.
It is a big boy, but he's a 13-year-old big boy. Chat, we appreciate you.
They can't play you 100%.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You know I can't play you. Yo, gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate
Love
y'all.
is love. Yeah, appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Christian, what percentage of swing trades versus, let's say, scalp or day trades do you do on your option side?
I don't actually know the percentage. However, I would say if I were to make one, I would say swing trades about 30%, and then I would say scalping is mostly 70%. Because scalping is one of my favorite strategies because it's very, like I said, it's consistent, it's short, it's quick. It's almost like legal drug money. Like it's quick, it's easy, it's fast. Like you don't have to be in all day. Yep. Like you can make $5,000 in like 10 minutes. Boom.
Talk that talk. Short target, then long target. Talk that talk. Come on, man.
Sniper.
That's a sniper. Yo, it's the 9 o'clock hour, so I'm gonna give the earnings calls real quick. Christian, is that okay with you?
Sure.
All right, so we got the earnings report. It's a big one for the financial world. We got a lot of our big banks that are reporting this week, which should tell us pretty much what the economy is really looking like. So first, today we had PepsiCo, and we saw some of their earnings. The sales of the beverage was down, but a lot of the snacks helped them lift up their earnings. So Tuesday, tomorrow, we got JP Morgan Chase, we got Citi, Wells Fargo, and one of Jamal's favorites, we got Delta reporting. We'll be interested to see what the airlines look like. The second quarter has been a tough one. And then Wednesday, we have Goldman Sachs. And Thursday, Bank of America and the stock that I am watching and Jamal is watching, and Ian, I'm sure you're aware of it too. Netflix will be reporting their earnings, and we're going to see if this 523 price for their stock is validated. We'll see the subscribers, how many they had. I know after the first quarter, they did like 16.9 million new subscribers. Everybody's still been home, so we'll see if the numbers of subscribers are going up. I know they haven't been able to produce as much original content, obviously because of the lockdown. So we're going to see, man. Netflix, I thought it was going to hit 600 today, the way it was looking this morning. So we'll see the earnings Thursday.
Yeah, there you have it. Okay, a couple more. We could take some more questions.
Dwayne, we coming to you. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
Whoever disliked the video, please.
Yeah.
Who did that?
You crazy.
I don't know. We'll open the questions up to anybody. If you want to ask Ian a question, if you want to ask Christian, you're going to stick around with us, right? You can stick around for like 20 minutes, half an hour?
I can stay.
All right, yeah. So we'll open the questions up to anybody that you have a question for on the platform. Feel free. It's like a panel discussion. Christian, what platform do you use to trade?
I use etrade.com. That's my main platform. However, I do diversify my platforms as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I literally just opened up my E-Trade account.
Crazy.
Because my mentor told me that's the best one.
The Dark Knight told me. The Dark Knight has been scolding us about not using.
My mentor told me that's the best one.
The Dark Knight told me. The Dark Knight has.
Hold on, somebody came on mute. All right.
Crazy delay.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy. We got it. Who we going, Darren?
I thought I had Dwayne. There you go. Dwayne, what's up?
You're unmuted. Unmute yourself. If you still there, Dwayne?
He's unmuted. He might have some technical. We're going to move on. Tamara, we coming to you. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
My question is, how do you choose options? Like in terms of the options change, there's so many choices. How do you, do you look at the Greeks, like the delta and all of that, or do you choose it another way?
Are you talking about more so like strike price or like?
So like
that's the main part.
You do look at the strike price, but then I guess like let's say you have like a little area that you might want to focus on, and maybe the volume in all of those areas are different. How do you differentiate like this particular option versus that option? So like, let's say you're kind of like in a zone, like $5 apart. With
like for the bid and ask for the strike for the date, I believe she's like as far as like 135 versus 140 versus 150 versus something like, like.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as how I
No, you good. You good, Christian. Go ahead.
So as far as how I differentiate options I choose, again, I would have to we'll go back to how I trade and what I'm trading. But for the most part, as far as how I differentiate them, I mostly stick to the same companies and around the same strike price, not the same strike prices, but around the same points as far as data strike prices. And I do have a system on that goes more into depth about what I'm talking about. So I can't really give that away here.
All right, fair enough.
Volume and delta.
Or implied volatility. Do you look at IV?
Yes.
And what about delta or any of the Greeks? Because I think people are trying to.
No, I don't look at those.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Tamara, thank you. Gesh, I hope I'm saying that right. Gesh, you are unmuted. It's a new name. I haven't seen this one before. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
Can you all hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
We can hear you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Hey, but Kristen, thank you so much for all the knowledge you're dropping. Thank you, everybody. I had a question for you, Ian.
Yes.
It may sound silly, but regarding the, I guess maybe second maybe drop in the economy or rise in COVID cases and all of that, as a way to prepare yourself for what's next, would you just recommend for the long-term stocks we have, and say, for example, we've seen good amount of profits, would you say sell off profits and hold tight to invest again, or just follow your strategy of just keep buying, every month at a certain price as opposed to selling what you already have?
Yeah. If you are in a bind and you need the money, I would say take it. If you don't need it over the next 2 years, I would say hold it. So there is going to be another pullback for those of us that are in Houston, LA, New York, Atlanta. It's going to be tough, right? But I promise you, in a year and a half, you will not care about what happened with COVID. And we saw it in March, and kudos to you. Thank you. And everyone in the stock club. March was the scariest time. And then Rashad and Troy introduced me, and they're like, who the hell is this dude telling me this don't work out? Like, I ain't never seen you on CNBC. Like, Kramer panicking and you calm. Like, but I promise you, in a year, you won't even care what happened with COVID. And then once this clears, if this vaccine gets pushed by end of year, and I'm going to be very honest, I think how a lot of this is going to tie into the election, the vaccine is going to be out before election. And if it is proven to be straight by end of summer, it will be a landslide for Trump. He'll be back in. So you have to look at the politics of it as well. Because if they can say, hey, we stopped this pandemic, it's going to be a landslide for him. Unfortunately, right? For those of you that are Democratic, I'm agnostic. I don't want them in either, but hey, it is what it is. Then 2021, 2022, things will hit their all-time highs, and now we'll have a lot of space. So we also have to look at the political ramifications of this as well. But if you need the money, if you're in a bind, yes, take it. But if you don't need it and you're fine, you're still working, you're still cash flowing, you're good. Yeah, and I'm seeing the comments in here. Please don't let them test the vaccine on you first.
Appreciate you, guys.
Right.
But Ian, I just want to say something. It's interesting that you say that, because shout out to Jabari. He's an EYL alumni, and we was hanging out with him at Manhattan Beach the other day. And
slight plug,
slight stunt, and and so we just talking about Corona and all that, and I'm telling him, like, I don't think this is going anywhere like till 18 months, 12 months out, and he's like, nah, they're gonna have a vaccine by November, and I'm like, I think that's how. He's like, no, they're gonna have a vaccine by November, and he's not the first person that said that, because biotech, somebody close in the biotech industry a couple of weeks ago, he told me, he said they've never seen the FDA push a drug through, because the steps they've never seen never seen it happen this fast before. And that's what he told me. Jabari, he was telling me one of his friends worked for the FDA, and he said they've never seen a drug getting pushed this. They're already actually doing test trials on a drug right now in America. They're doing test trials on a drug right now in America.
Like 30,000 people already have it.
30,000 people in America already have the test drug right now. Nobody knows that. Nobody would have known that.
Well, y'all don't tell anybody.
But yeah, just keep it our secret. But yeah, it's interesting because you know, I personally think that like markets are designed to go up. Like if you really think about it, stock market is designed to go up. Nobody makes investments for it to go down. So like when these people made these investments, whether it's derivatives, bonds, stocks, houses, the ultimate goal of an investment is for it to go up.
To rise, yep.
So the stock market is designed to go up over the course of time. So I say that to say, stick with Ian's strategy as far as buying monthly, because none of us have a crystal ball. And of course, it would be great to try to predict when the best time is to buy. But if you buy monthly, you will make money. It's like dollar cost averaging works. Yeah. That's why we talk about it every week. It works, definitely.
Yeah. And then even if we go back to what we talked about in episode 70 from the beginning to take a trip down memory lane, shout out Hove. If the index funds, once again, look at them like an all-star team. So now Tesla's going to move into the S&P 500. The ones that are underperforming are going to get taken out. So remember that even if you don't think that the S&P is going to stand up or down, the ones that are underperforming, they're going to get snatched off the team. New players are going to be introduced, and then tech is going to do its thing. So yeah, at all costs, one of the biggest mistakes that we make as a community, being African American, is that we don't pay that bill first, because that's the only one that's going to save us and our grandmas and grandpas and aunts in retirement, is having that money set to the side. So, and like I said, unless you really need the money, or you're in dire straits, let that money sit in there for ideally 30 years, and you'll be good.
Yeah. Christian, I got a quick question. Now we're speaking about COVID, and I'm thinking like, yo, this guy's 13 years old. What are we doing? Are we going to school or are we getting homeschool?
Homeschool. Nope. All precautions.
Were you always homeschooled before this?
No, I wasn't homeschooled last year because we actually ended up moving back to the States last year. So I decided to go to school last year, but I was homeschooled for about 2 years.
Can you imagine the economics teacher trying to give you a lesson? That would be interesting.
Well, it's a common theme because Spurgo, you ever heard of him? Trey. Yeah. So
I know of him.
Okay, good guy. He's another 13-year-old.
Spurgo's 14 now.
14. He was on the podcast, and he's homeschooled. So before COVID. So I don't think that it's an accident that our two youngest EYL alumni have been homeschooled. So parents, that's something to consider. You know, you go to this public school systems, and the things that they're teaching you are counterproductive.
That's true.
A lot of times. So, you know, to be this laser focused, like I said, I mean, to have Spurgo tell us, once again, his mother was his partner.
Driving force.
Your mother, sounds like a similar situation. You're both homeschooled. So it's just something to think about. I'm not saying that you have to homeschool your kids, but these are two prime examples of what homeschooling good parents can do.
Yeah, I had the conversation with a few principals about the education is going to be indoctrination, or is it actually going to be actual education, teaching kids things that they need to know. And you're a prime example of, you know what you need to know right now. And so like, I'm looking forward to what your future looks like, because you're going to impact the world, man. I can feel it.
But we need to have his mom on too, because I think that'd be an amazing story to tell about like some of the things that's structured. Because I mean, I'm about to homeschool Xander August, September, and October. So I think just teaching your kids this stuff early is so key. But I think even having her on would be great.
Perfect. Rich Parker, my guy, what's going on? Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
Peace.
Got you on.
Man, young king, man, I sure appreciate you. My daughter came in and caught some of your words. They said in our chat, your course is like $779, but I want to hear from the GO mod itself. How much do your course cost, and what does it consist of? And this is a lot of questions at once. Is my
guidelines.
Talk about your course, Christian. Plug your course.
Sure. So actually I have a couple of courses. So here they go. I got
which one?
Go over the options one.
Options. I got two of those. So okay, so I'll talk about that one first. So I have one course called Black Wealth Matters. And in that course, I do go over options. I go over the option chain, how to do them, calls, puts, what you need to know, how you can automatically set up your trades as well. So you don't necessarily have to be active in your brokerage account or even really be active in the market that much. So you can set them up automatically where they can execute, buy and sell for you. And so I do go over that. And I also go over investing in that course as well. And not only just the basics of investing, everything as far as terminology and all of that, as far as when it comes to the stock market, but also how to find those companies in which to invest into. Because I know a lot of people, they might teach you how to invest, but you still don't know what company to invest into. Like for all you know, you can be investing into Snapchat.
Facts.
So that's again called Black Wealth Matters, and that course is $779. Then I guess you could say my master course, which is called the Truth Success Series. And the Truth Success Series, you get everything you get in the Black Wealth Matters course, and you get additional features, including you learn about cover calls, you learn about the different strategies that I use personally. You also will be added to a private Facebook group, and in that Facebook group, again, that's what I was talking about. I think it was about half an hour ago. As far as when it came to the Tesla trade, while I don't necessarily tell you what to do because that's illegal, not going to jail. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, and that you could copy. And then also in that Facebook group, we give Sunday coaching calls, and on those coaching calls, we go over strategies, different tools we can use for the trading week, and really allows you to also answer any questions you may have. And like I said, making sure you're understanding the information, not learning the information, but understanding to the point where you could go out and teach it yourself. Now, we don't want you to do that, but to the point where you can.
Wow.
There you have
it. That's a lot. Appreciate you, Rich Parker.
And how much is that course?
So that course is $3,000. Well, rounded.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. Sorry. One more thing.
Go ahead, man.
So I do also, I'm gonna say, have a kids course. I teach my peers as well, and in that course I show them different strategies as far as how to read the charts and basically technical analysis, so they can get started as well. Because I would say the biggest thing for me as far as when it comes to the stock market is creating financial freedom and generational wealth. And I would say my overall plan as far as using the stock market as a tool to not only build a community by building the businesses. Because I know a lot of people will say, well, support Black business. So what do we do with the money those businesses make? Well, we can use the money those businesses make, put them in the stock market. So an example, let's say a business, I'm just gonna use small numbers. Let's say a business made $100, right? So we put it into the stock market, boom, we're trading, we're investing, and we basically multiply that number by 5. Now that business has $500, and they can use that $500 in order to basically redistribute it. And with the business now having more money, like I said, they can upgrade, they can hire more people now. They can add more locations if they're, I'm gonna say a physical location business. It allows them to do more with that money. So I would say that's my overall goal with the stock market, is creating financial freedom and generational wealth, and allowing people to be able to use it as a tool, as an avenue to be able to make money without having to rely on a job. And I remember a point you guys made earlier was about, ex-convicts and people that had just got out of prison, how a lot of them have to turn back to the streets where they're making $2,000, $500,000, and it's easy money. And their only other option is to go to McDonald's or Wendy's or something and make minimum wage. So this will give them another avenue that they don't have to rely on somebody else in order to support their family and even just support themselves.
This is our LeBron James. This is our Mike. Go follow him right now.
There you have it. I got a feeling you're gonna go up like a couple thousand.
You up you up 1,000 right now. Somebody's keeping track over here. They said you up 1,000 followers.
You up 1,000 followers.
You too. There's 2,000 people in here. Go follow this young man. The Truth.
EYL Effect
2024.
If you think it'll be a good idea for us to get Christian on the EYL podcast for a full explanation of his story and breakdown, type in yes in the YouTube.
It might be necessary.
In YouTube, yeah.
Oh man, it's blowing up. It's blowing up. Damn, the chat is going crazy right now.
Oh man.
That was crazy.
Christian, do you do technicals from the charts? Because I know D Bizzle, what up? Do you do technicals? Do you do news? How do you start to gauge your entries?
I would say so the most thing I use for my entries would have to be technical analysis and using the charts. But as far as, I would say this is part of my strategy as far as picking my companies, it would be fundamentals.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a lot of yeses, man.
Yeah,
so we
the
got
yeses went crazy.
We're gonna have to work something out, man. It's always inspiring. We got time for like a few more questions?
Jamal, what's going on?
Jamal.
You unmuted. Let's go, bro.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Everything great. You know that.
Hey, Ian, listen, man, I appreciate you bringing on this young man, Christian.
Of course.
Christian, we definitely appreciate you out here. I've been trading typically in stocks. I'm getting into the options now. One question I had for you, I know Ian kind of goes with this from a gauge factor using the VIX, right? The volatility index. Do you utilize that at all for any of your options trades? Just to kind of get a gauge of where your points might be, right? Because I've used that. It's been effective for me. But as I get into options, I want to understand if that is a tool that you utilize.
As far as with my options and as entry points, I actually really haven't used it. I have to look into that. I actually haven't used it as far as when it comes to options.
Okay.
I mostly use technical analysis when I'm trading options. I might use it for stocks, but not options.
But Brandon, Christian, Brandon has a question about what percentage do you sell your options?
Can you say that again?
And what percentage do you start to sell off your options?
So that really depends on. Well, actually, I'm gonna break it down this way.
Yeah. So let's say scalp and swing trade.
Okay, so here I'm gonna go through a whole process of how my system works as far as from just buying options, investing, all of that. And it's actually based off my nickname. It goes like this. So it's truth. T, tap 20 companies that you like and that you already buy from. That goes to the first part where you got to find those companies in which to invest to. We call that your circle of 20. Then you have R, research those companies thoroughly. That goes into finding the patterns, which is technical analysis, which is also part of scalping. So that goes into finding those patterns so you know what entry points to buy in because, of course, history repeats itself and, of course, patterns repeat themselves. I call it reap from the repeat. Then you have U, understand the historical data behind those companies. Again, history repeats itself. And like you said earlier, I do look at those charts to see those companies are very consistent and strong companies and have been in situations that we are currently in right now and have made it through alive. And there's companies that can only grow from here because tech is not going anywhere, anytime soon. Then you have T, trade after closing. So this is more so after hours. And what I mean by that is maybe I'll see a trade after hours, or about when the market is about to close, and I don't necessarily make that trade today. And it really just gives me the time to sleep on it. So this is more so for swing trading. Like I said, it gives me time to sleep on it, make sure I'm basically reevaluating my steps before I make this trade, especially if I'm investing a lot of money into it. So it allows me to sleep on it, like I said, reevaluate and making sure I'm making the best decision for myself. Then you have H, have an enter and exit strategy. So this goes to your question as far as my percentages. So as far as having an enter and exit strategy, you have to have it because y'all probably know this from experience. You cannot be greedy at all.
At all. It'll kill you. Greed will kill you.
It will murder your account. Like be up 5,000 one day, be down to nothing. You cannot be greedy.
Shout out to my traders. Like, with that passion, he's experienced losses. So when we talk about trading, no cap. Like that comes from losing. Every single trade, you have to have a predetermined exit on every single trade. If not, you're going to be up $5,000, $6,000 and see it slide all the way back like how I did today. And then you're going to cry. And it's tough when you end the day at a loss and you got to wait till the next morning to trade. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
In vintage Rockefeller Hot 97 freestyle fashion, he's only 13.
He's only 13.
He's only 13.
Truth. I need them truth. Put truth in the YouTube comments right now. He's just spit.
He's only 13.
Too much game.
Yo, man.
Hey, we got any room left on the label?
Yes, yo, man. Truth. The truth. Paul Pierce. The truth. The real truth.
There you go. Willis, we coming to you. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man?
I want to say thank you all. Once again, I just started last week. Actually, y'all actually called on me last week too. So thank you again. Ian, y'all got to listen to Ian. For those of you who haven't listened to Ian, please
tell him why.
Listen to him. Because I have made the mistakes that he tells us not to do. And trust me, it hurts.
It
So
hurts.
please listen to Ian and tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to listen to Ian. We need them shares. But Mr. Jones,
Yep.
I want to ask you, when you're trading options, do you ever or how much do you look at the open interest?
So as far as the open interest, it is I want to say indicator is something I do pay attention to, but I want to say it's a main part as far as when it comes to my option trading strategy. It is something I do pay attention to, but it's not, I want to say it's more so it's not necessary for me as far as my strategy. It's not necessary. So I really don't pay attention to it that much.
Okay. Hey, I'm real new to this. I'm real green to it, so I was just trying to see. I'm learning different strategies, but thank you.
Appreciate you, Willis.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, family.
And just like I tell you guys on the future side, you don't have to look at volume. Like if you trade in a quality company, the volume is already going to be baked in anyway. So similar with open interest. I know a lot of people do like to look at open interest, but you don't necessarily have to. I know a couple people have questions about debit credit spreads. You want to give your insight on that?
I don't actually use them. Like I said, I mostly stick to my bread and butter, like options and covered calls and stocks. Trio.
Good.
The Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity, baby.
Trinity.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity.
Keep telling y'all, man. Keep it simple.
Trinity. Stick to your.
I do have a lot of room to grow for myself as far as maybe looking at other strategies that I can possibly use, so I can teach it to people as well. But right now, I can't give much of an opinion on them.
Because you only talk about what you do. I love that.
That's like Kiss told Fab. Stick to the script.
Yep. Don't try to change it on us. Don't change it on us.
Stick to the script.
Don't change it on us.
Stick to what's working.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There we go.
All right. One last question from EYL University.
Should we go to the hometown? Where you want to go?
Who's the hometown?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Rob,
what's going on? Home team.
Yo, how y'all doing, man?
We great, man. We out here in the West Coast.
Yeah,
I'm good. Hey, man, this episode, man, so much pride right now, man. I love what y'all doing, man. Real inspirational, man. So appreciate y'all, man, so much. The question I had was for Christian, man, with the discipline with the stocks, man. Like I feel like I'm disciplined with my entries with stocks, like purchasing them for swing trades. But on the options, man, I get a little emotional rush with the options. So I was just curious, from your standpoint, is there like a checklist that you have to make sure, you know what I mean, you're going into an options play at the right time?
So this is more so about handling, I would say, the way I'm seeing this question is, this is more so about you handling your emotions.
Yeah. I would say like, you know, you got CNBC on the news. There's certain companies I've been watching, and then I think with the options, because of the time element, sometimes it just feels like you've got to pounce down. But obviously that's never always the right move. Sometimes it works out, but sometimes it doesn't. So I was just curious, is there a checklist? You kind of alluded to it earlier when you said sometimes you sleep on it, but I was just curious of like, if there's a certain checklist that you have before you pull the trigger.
I would say as far as when it comes to options and I'm trading, again, it depends on what I'm doing. I might more so use my checklist and that T trade after closing if I'm swing trading and I have time to reevaluate it. However, if I'm day trading and scalping, where you have pretty much no chance, or I want to say no time to reevaluate. Like you have to be able to think on your feet, and you can't. I would say this as far as if you want to get more into investing and options, you can't be emotional. Not even just greed, but you can't let emotions and fear and let that really dictate your trading style. So I will say this, when it comes to emotions and fear and greed, here's an example. This is actually, well, not an example, no, a case study for me as far as my experience with it. So I remember this was about 2 years ago. So I was still a little experienced, a little not, I would say intermediate as far as trading. I remember I had a huge string of wins, right? I remember I had a huge string of wins, and I basically didn't do what I just said, which was stick to the script. And I decided to go away from what got me there. Right. Again, this goes back to the greed part. You're on top of the world, and you think you can't be stopped, and then you get stopped. So I finally take my first loss. So after I take that loss, I decide, well, I mean, it was just like $100. I couldn't get that back. Boom.
Jump
I
right
don't
in.
do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it ends up becoming a pattern. I still didn't do my research. I still didn't do the steps which got me there in the first place. And now I'm making desperate trades because I'm trying to get that money back. And I'm doing making stupid mistakes. I'm not checking myself. And I would say when it comes to your emotions and handling them, as far as with trading, you do have to give yourself that time and space to just step back from trading. Like that's something a lot of people, a lot of traders don't do is they over trade. You can't over trade. Like you can't over anything. Like you can't overeat. Like you don't want to over trade and burn yourself out. So you have to step back from trading. And again, this will be another tip of advice I would give to traders is get yourself a trading journal.
Yep.
So when you do take that chance for you to step back from trading and allow yourself to reevaluate everything, you can look back into your journal and basically see your history about what mistakes you made, what wins you made, and see how you can learn from them so you can repeat the wins and cut out these mistakes.
How many trades are you taking a day?
How many trades do I do a day?
Yep.
So I would say the maximum amount of trades I might do a day would be 5. It really depends on, again, about my enter and exit strategy. So it depends on how much I made per trade. If I hit my daily goal, then I'll just do 1. If I haven't hit my daily goal, but I was close, I'll still maybe do 1. I might do another small trade just to see if I can get that little inch to it.
Yep.
So that would be as far as my total amount. Also, I don't think I completely answered your question earlier. So I would say the percentages as far as my profiting would be about 30% to 50%.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yo, Rob, we appreciate that. They wasn't giving this in Woodlands, Rob. Don't worry. It's okay.
Yo, I was feeling a little insecure. I appreciate that. This was no, I really appreciate the game here, man. This is really
Appreciate
helpful,
it. Christian, so Ian, you may not know, but Rob, we all actually went to the same high school. So this is
that's dope.
Yeah. Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah, they ain't capping, man. This is for real, man. So I appreciate y'all, man.
Definitely,
Keep
bro.
putting Greenberg on the map. Peace.
That's a fact.
That's a fact, bro. Appreciate you. Market Mondays.
Whoa.
Real quick, is your mom around? Can she hop on real quick or no?
I could go get her real quick.
You want to get somebody? I got a request in my phone. Like, can y'all bring his mom? I need to learn from her.
You gotta give mama love. We gotta say thank you to her for sure if you can, if she's down to hop on.
Give me a minute. I'll be back.
All right.
And it's amazing to see like that and passion, enthusiasm. So like how he lights up. This is one of the things that like.
Y'all got me out here looking bad.
Hey, oh no, mom, it's impossible. This boy done put on.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, good afternoon or good evening.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you all?
We good.
We are now blessed thanks to your son, and you obviously he's a offspring of what you've been able to teach him. So we wanted to just thank you in front of everybody here. We got a few members on YouTube and a couple of people in EYL University. So thank you. Everybody clap it up for moms in YouTube right now.
Yeah, for sure.
EYL University, clap it up for moms.
Amazing.
My gosh.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. So yeah, we just wanted to just say, your son did a tremendous job during our interview, and hopefully we can do a lot more things with him going forward. We really, really like him. We're very proud of him, and we wanted to just thank you and acknowledge you as well as being his parent and being his teacher. We got to have a conversation with you as well, because I'm assuming that you're a very astute option trader yourself because you taught him. So
and I do have a question.
Girl that trades too. I got a daughter that trades. So
okay.
Wait.
Oh
man.
How old is your daughter?
She's 9.
All right, whole family.
Yeah,
family. My daughter's 9. I gotta step my game.
I talk about this stuff all the time, so it's fun.
Yeah, I do have a question for you. I met you when you guys were at Marquell's event in Atlanta. What was that, February? But how did you get them started so young when most parents don't even think entrepreneurship is an option for Black kids?
Exposure. And we read books, we read personal help books. And so I'm literally just like you have a culture at work or you have a culture on a football team.
Yes.
I'm the coach, I'm the president, I'm the CEO. So I've created my own culture. And so this is what we do. And we work together as a team, and like, we love it. We have fun. We definitely support each other. And they have other businesses outside of just trading trading is, they literally have 7 streams of income. So we do a lot of different things, but we have fun with it.
Yeah, I saw you active at the event, even like setting up the ads and everything and firing off the pixels. I'm like, you guys are not playing. What was it like starting that homeschooling process? And for those of us that are looking to do that, what are some tips you have for us as parents?
Don't be afraid. Now homeschool is not like what when we grew up, everybody think it's old school where you have to be the teacher. If I had to teach my children, we all would fail. So they have homeschool now where the teachers come online, so it's like one-on-one. And if they're already an expert at algebra or geometry, they can move ahead. You don't have the whole class hold them back. And so therefore, that's why a lot of homeschool kids graduate early. So I would definitely encourage all the parents to definitely look into homeschool and look into those programs where you have teachers online, and make sure you have great communication with them on what your child's struggling with, and as well as what they're advancing with, so they can go ahead and get that out the way and then work on what the things that they need to work on.
Mom, you said they got 7 streams of income. What other businesses they got already since they're 9 and 13? I'm interested.
Well, you seen Truth Shirt? That's my daughter. She does
merch.
Yeah, she does merch. They have books. Of course, they have stocks. Yeah, they have their
A true salesman.
Hold up, there's more.
Yeah, he's also an international speaker. He's spoken on 3 different continents. My daughter is an aspiring makeup artist, and so they have. Just plugging everybody. Oh, and they have a nonprofit called True Playmakers where they honor 17 amazing African-American kids. So if your kids fall into that category, hit us up in the DM on Instagram.
Oh, your DM's gonna be flooded. They coming.
and we're gonna make a commitment. We're gonna help your son as much, your whole family. We want to get him as much exposure, because I saw on his bio, I think he was featured in, what was it, Forbes or Fox, something? Fox?
Oh, well, he's been on Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fox, all of the alphabets, and those are huge. Those are all huge. But Ian could attest to this. None of them are bigger than EYL when it comes to these.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, the biggest.
Right,
no, the biggest. No, the biggest.
You heard that?
So we're gonna do the full rollout. I'm gonna write a story for him. We're gonna put him on a podcast. We're gonna bring him back on Market Mondays. We guarantee them at least 30,000 new Instagram followers.
That's
in the
a
next
big fact.
Ian,
I'll take him.
Ian, am I lying?
Man, that bump is serious.
We gotta get a team now, because Mama got a job. Mama's in the military, so we're gonna have to get a team.
Yeah. He gonna be EYL Christian before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nah, but we just want to say thank you. Hopefully we could do a lot more. And I thoroughly enjoyed this episode for sure. I'm sure everybody else enjoyed it. Christian, can you tell the people how to contact you, your website, all the information, Instagram, and all of that?
Sure. So y'all can go follow me, get me to that 30K at 2024 on Instagram, and then on Facebook, Christian the Truth Jones, and then on LinkedIn, Christian the Truth Jones, and then on YouTube.
Jones, I got you. We rocking. Well, one last question for your mom. What made you get them into investing? And somebody asked a great question. What made you choose to change the wealth construct for your bloodline?
I've seen my mother's a nurse. So I've seen people be in nursing homes and the family doesn't come, and they're not able to take care of the family, that family member that has taken care of them. And I didn't want my kids to have to take care of me, and I didn't want to be in a situation where they couldn't afford to take care of me either. And I don't take it for granted. We take our life for granted. I give my kids everything I got every day. If you're gonna tiptoe and tap dance for people at work, you need to tiptoe and tap dance for the people at home that's gonna have your back and ride with you no matter what. So I give my kids everything I have every day, and I don't take my life for granted. Again, like I said, I'm in the military, so I've been there, done that. And I don't take being for granted that I'm gonna see them into adulthood. So if I don't make it and something happens, they already set. Nobody can take that game from them. Even if somebody tricked them out their money, they got the wisdom and the knowledge. Can't nobody take that from them.
That's a fact.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you for your service also.
Thank you for that.
For your in the military.
She said no shucking and jiving and high fiving. We on it.
Yo.
I love it.
Oh man, I'm inspired. I'm about to go to Runyon Canyon.
Hey, yo, Ian, they said we're gonna need a therapist because this is just changing our lives. Today our lives have changed, and that's a fact, man. I
just wanted to show, regardless of age, that our kids can do this. Adults, we can do this. I know you guys are tired of me screaming at you about investing, but this is, imagine if all of us knew this, like how we know ball, and I still want us to have swag, be dope, have fun, but we got to have this down too. So thank you for leading that charge, Christian.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, for giving us the opportunity. We are so grateful, and we don't take these opportunities for granted. So thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Ian, any last words? Thank you, Ian. Also, thank you for playing the role of the GM. This was an excellent pick for Market Mondays. You did an excellent job at bringing this young man in. So kudos to you for your selection. Any last words that you want to leave the people with?
Invest every single month. I hope he put a smile on your face, showing you what's possible. Trading wise, showing you what kind of numbers are possible. To the Stock Club members, Red Panda family, I love you. To the new Elite members, I love you. To those of you in Apex and Alpha, I love you. To my guy AT that knocked us 17 grand yesterday. To those of you that make 4 or 5 grand a day, I love you. Thank y'all for being solid as always. Let me get my Rob Pelinka on and yeah, man, this is special. I think the culture needed this. I think Black kids and brown kids needed to see this. So thank you.
Yeah, I seen those R's. Everybody's saying they feel rejuvenated, reactivated, revigorated. It's dope. And that all happened here with you. So thank you, Christian, for blessing us, man. This has been amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, EYL University this week, we have a class on Wednesday with Brandon Copeland, who is a professor at Wharton School of Business. He's going to be teaching a budgeting class for us. So if you're in EYL University, please take advantage of that class. That's going to be a legendary situation. And then the book club, we're starting a new book.
Yeah, new book's coming out. We're not starting a new book this week, but the following week we are. We're going to finish up the 12-week year. We're probably around 12 weeks. A lot of people have been building in there and just wanted to finish out their triads. So we're going to allow them to do that. And then we're going to start our new book. And everybody in the book club, if you were there, you know what it is, the color of money. So hopefully you got the book already. If not, go get it now. It's on audio on Amazon Prime. Get it. It's a powerful book. I've started. Everybody here, the team said they're going to start it too with us. So that's going to be dope.
Yeah. And we back to back next week. We are coming.
Oh, y'all killing.
Mark will be our guest next week. Everybody has been asking for Mark.
Bruce Wayne,
Bruce Wayne, the legend himself, will be our guest next week. So we dropping back-to-back bombs with Market Mondays.
He got a big surprise too.
Oh, Mark got a huge surprise.
He got a big one. He got a big surprise.
He got a huge surprise. Mark got a huge surprise. So
make sure y'all there and look, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no games being played. Bring your notepad, bring your iPad.
No, that's gonna be different.
Bring it all.
And shout out to everybody. Yeah, so you got about 5 minutes to join the Elite High Performance Stock Society. And please don't ask for any sale after that because
price is gonna go up. And then Red Panda Stock Club family, no call tonight. Everybody should be up. We'll reconvene and be good next week. So I love it. And then also scholarship winners for Elite. You'll get an email in the next 24 hours. And then tomorrow on Instagram, I'm going to pick 2 people to give scholarships away to tomorrow for Elite as well. So I love you guys.
Yeah.
Dwayne, somebody's asking about the book club. The book club, go to the real estate Facebook group. Investment group on Facebook.
Yeah.
Check us out. It's in there. Go to the Invest tab.
Yeah. If you're in EYL University, go to investment group. Christian, it's been a pleasure. We're going to connect with you. We're going to get you on the podcast if you're interested and further explain.
I should get a GM bonus or something next time. Why? So we need an EYL trip at post-corona.
Post-corona. That's a fact.
Christian, what state you in?
I'm in Kentucky.
Kentucky? Okay. Got you.
There you have it.
We're supposed to be in Kentucky.
Yeah, we was. Louisville?
Yep.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Okay.
We was actually gonna do a speaking engagement at the University of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Eric out there.
Shout out to everybody in
Louisville. And shout out to Erica. I know she's in here. I kept seeing everybody say happy birthday to her. So I'm gonna say happy birthday to you too. Happy birthday, Erica. Shout out to all the owners in here.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate y'all rocking with us. I love y'all dearly.
Yeah. And tomorrow, check out our episode. This is Canada Week.
Yeah.
We got Lynn Lore, who's a top YouTuber tomorrow.
She's dope.
Then Friday, we got Director X, who's one of the biggest legendary directors of all time. Both straight out of Toronto, Canada.
Mr. $1 Million Video himself.
The real six guard.
Excellent. Let me get my chronicles
First
going.
six guard. Not the first six guard. The first six guard.
First six guard.
Shout out to Jake. Shout out to Jake. Please forgive me.
Yo, hug somebody, love somebody, reach out and call somebody. One text can change the perspective and trajectory of somebody's life. Make sure you do it. We love y'all. We're going to see y'all tomorrow with the 2 episodes, and we'll see y'all Wednesday back here in Zoom, EYL earners.
Peace.
Peace. We love you.
Peace. Over and out. Love y'all.